My name is Malachai Steele. Some of you know me as Still Malachi, some of you know me as Future, but the name that I go by now is The Architect. That's the identity in which that I've always walked in. I just had to come to realize it. I'm a father, a creator, a producer. I'm a man rebuilding his life with intentions. So everything that you see, everything that I do, from music to film to clothing, comes from a place of purpose. I'm building something bigger than myself. I'm creating a legacy for my children. Why is this called the season of the blueprint? I call this the season of the blueprint because every building starts with a design. Before you ever see the structure, there's a design. There's a stage of planning. My life right now is in the design state. It's planning of where I'm gonna live, what I'm gonna eat, how I'm gonna change my health, how I'm going to get better in ministry, how I'm going to reach the lost, the masses. How does my testimony help build people? So this series is about showing people what it really looks like to start over, what it really looks like to build with intention, piece by piece, step by step. Many of us show the process, but we don't give the ingredients of how to do it. So this is what that is. It's the design state, the ingredients of knowing the material that you need to rebuild your life. Because not all the material that we use is for us, will help us, will be strong enough to withhold where we go. The darkest season of my life was when everything seemed to collapse at once. I lost my apartment, I faced homelessness, even from Columbus, Georgia. Ministry doors had to close, had to leave my job, had to leave a place that I worked and built for 2 years to make home. I started to endure personal struggles. The moment where I felt like the ground beneath me was gone again. If you're familiar with my story, you know about 5 years ago, roughly 5 years ago, that happened, where my marriage was over. I became divorced, had to leave and move to Buffalo. Then it just seemed like I hit great obscurity. I just went through so much and didn't understand why. So I had to leave Buffalo to move again, and I ended up moving to Columbus. That was the darkest season of my life. But sometimes the foundation, one thing I realized is that sometimes the foundation has to be clear before something stronger can be built. Sometimes we are building on ground that can't hold where we're going. We are trying to make things happen in places that's not conducive for us. Seeds can grow anywhere. Understand that in this series. Seeds can grow anywhere. If you throw a bunch of seeds to the ground and they stay there long enough, they will begin to grow. But the beauty of the seed that's supposed to have been there is its roots go deep. So in this season of the blueprint, the seeds have been thrown. The design has been made. The paper has been laid out. Now I'm just letting the roots get to where they need to be. Question says how being diagnosed with multiple myeloma changed your perspective. I've been a very sick child from birth to now. So for me, it's I feel like another notch on my belt, I guess. Being diagnosed with multiple myeloma changes how I look at life in a broader perspective. When you realize your time is not guaranteed, when you start to ask yourself real questions. Am I where I'm supposed to be? Am I doing what God really called me to do? Am I being the father that I know I can be? Am I being the friend? Is the people around me, are they supposed to be there? Taking responsibility for a lot of things that I should have been took responsibility for. Rebuilding, rebuilding with serious intentions. What is the legacy that I will leave? It forced me to stop living small and start walking in purpose for real. We can say it with our mouth, but never make it in our purpose. We can never make it in reality. We say, so as a man thinketh, so is he. So I realize that every day matters and I have to make it count. Point blank and period. What roles does my son play in my motivation? My sons are a huge part of my life. They're why I refuse to quit. They're why I keep showing up. They're why I keep going the extra mile to raise men that know that I might struggle, but I'm going to come through it. I'm going to stay focused. I'm going to stay grounded. I'm going to stay at level with it and rise above it. MJ and Malik, I call them my mini-me's. They remind me of what it is to build. They're strongly reminding me of what I build today affects their future. If I quit today, it affects them. Everything that I'm doing is about creating something that they can be proud of. They can say, that's my father. Even my oldest son, Britt, whom I've adopted and took under my wing, I want him to be proud of his father and to know that I never gave up. I never gave up. I never will give up. And the legacy that I've built will withstand everything long after I'm gone. Why am I called the architect? I'm called the architect because I'm designing my life on purpose. I'm going with the chief architect, the chief one. I'm going along with the design that he has designed for my life and taking it in great stride. I'm controlling what Malachai can control, not what God can control. I think that's our problem. Sometimes we jump into God's place and we lose sight of what we're supposed to be doing. I'm not just reacting to life anymore. I'm building it. I'm taking the pieces, the rubble, along with what I've created and remaking it, redesigning it. I'm building businesses. I'm creating art. I'm producing stories. I'm laying down foundation that represents discipline, vision, and authority. That's what I'm about. That's what I'm doing. I'm walking in my purpose. I think this is the age-old question as to many people want to know, why do I create so many things and it seems like I finish nothing, right? I have to keep creating because storytelling is powerful. It has a voice of its own. It gives its own vision. It writes its own dynamics. Music, film, clothing. There are different ways to communicate a message, a brand. It's a different way that tells a story. So I want to inspire people and encourage people. I love to show purpose in story. I love to show purpose in life. I love to show purpose in demise. I love to show the strength of rebuilding, the strength of regaining, the strength of growing. And I do it in the ways that I know how. And that is through my music. That is through ministry. That is through storytelling. That is me doing this. That is me designing my clothes and wearing them proud. It's what I do. What is Still Visions 86? Still Vision 86 is my production company and creative platform. It's where I produce shows, documentaries, music, and content that tells stories from a real perspective. The goal is to create something authentic, stories told our way. It's a group of people that want to tell their stories, whether they are LGBTQ, whether they are pastors, whether they are business people, whether they are musicians, whether they are singers, artists, whatever the story is. Still Visions is the place. 86 Still Vision is the place to tell the story. Rebuilding for me looks like right now, it's not glamorous. It's not fun. It's not emotionally being okay. It's working when you can't work. when you can't sit or stand. It is being out of work with no income and then having to reapply for jobs, even though you still have a job. You just know that you don't believe that that can get you out of where you are. It's not faith. Please understand that it's not faith, but it's me going back into the discipline of working. It's creating late nights. It's having dreams of different things and bringing it into fruition. It's designing clothes. It's recording music. It's filming content. It's continuing to move forward even when things are difficult. It literally is brick by brick, day by day, second by second, hour by hour, because there's times that I don't know how I'm going to eat. There's times that I don't know where I'm going to sleep outside of sleeping in my vehicle. And at one point, I didn't have a vehicle. It's not being legal in my vehicle, but praying for God's protection to keep me so that I'm not on the street freezing, so that I'm not in bad places. You know, people want to be a part of the story, but don't know what it takes to maintain the story. So rebuilding for me is being able to maintain the story after it has been built, after the foundation has been laid, after the building has been created, and we now see the product. It's maintaining it. The message that I want you to take from this series is I want people to understand that your current situation, listen to me. Hey, listen to me. Your current situation does not define your future. You can rebuild. You can redesign your life. When you come in alignment with what God has for your life, you have to first accept that where you are, you may have had a part in it and God has a part in it. You have to be willing to put in the work. You got to do the work. It's not going to happen overnight. It's not going to happen by some type of, for you, it may not be designed that way. God might not let you go buy that winning lottery ticket and that change your life. Because an undisciplined person will be a person that just throws their money away. But a disciplined person, a person that has to go through a season of discipline. This may be my season of discipline. How to save, how to build, how to hold on. I was a man that had it, so I didn't have to save it because I was getting it on a regular basis. It was coming on a regular basis. And then when that dried up, now I'm in a season of I have to save $1 because I don't know if I have to weigh the cost. Can I get this cup of coffee today when I gotta go to an appointment tomorrow and pay for parking? See? Let me use these free McDonald's things versus spending my cash. So it's I want you to get that process while watching me in this series. Where do I see myself in the future? I see myself in my business growing, healthy. I see my shows reaching people around the world in spite of what we are currently dealing with. I see our ministry growing by great leaps and bounds. The Bible says greater works will you do. And in my 45 years, of being on this earth, I've seen him move. I've seen miraculous healing. I've seen people delivered through the words that God have allowed me to speak. And I know it's coming back again. My story will become proof that rebuilding is possible. I'm building something that will outlive me, something my children can carry forward because they know who they are. Even at the age of 5 and 8, one knows he's a pastor, one knows he's a prophet. The same age I knew who I was. This isn't a story about a struggle. I want you to understand that and take that away from this. This is a story about rebuilding, about purpose and design. This is about making. This is about making the architect. This isn't a story about struggle. This is a story about rebuilding, about purpose and design. This is about making the architect what you'll see on the screen, what you'll see in real life, what you'll see in real time. Thank you for being on my journey, the rebuilding, the blueprint. I am your boy, the architect. I salute. Every blueprint. Every building begins with a blueprint. Before the structure, before success, before the crowning, there's a design. My name is Malachai Steele. I faced homelessness, loss, and battled with multiple melanoma. Hey, I want to tell you that every building begins with a blueprint. Before the structure, before success, before the crowning, there's a design. My name is the architect, Malachai Steele. I face homelessness, loss, and I have a battle with multiple melanoma. But this is not the end of my story. It's not. This is the beginning of something greater. This is the making of the architect, the prophet.